Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai Nitalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajakachaja Astotar Saja Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gopakta Vrinda ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Shyam Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Navadip Dham ki Mayapur Dham ki Jagannath Puri Nilachala Dham ki Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Shri Gaunitai ki Shri Radha Sarat Bihari ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki Shri Mudamai Gangamai ki Samveda Bhakta Vrinda ki Harinama Sankirtan Sankirtan Jagna ki Srila Prabhupada ki Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Shri Gaura Purnima Mahotsav ki Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Shri Guru Shri Ranga.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Happy Gaura Purnima. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the schedule. We're going to have a lecture by Ms. Grace Balabhadra Das, and I'll introduce him in a minute. Then we will have, at 7:15, we're going to do Abhishek, which is bathing of Lord Chaitanya. And at 7:45, we'll have the drama, which is Lord Chaitanya delivers Chantaki. 8:15, we'll have another arati. And at 8:30, we'll have dinner for Sham with a break our fast. So I'm going to introduce His Grace Balabhadra to give the lecture today. Balabhadra Prabhu is our temple president. He comes up here from Atlanta, and he stayed with us for a little bit, for a couple weeks. A couple weeks he'll be up here in Philadelphia. Balabhadra Prabhu is a Prabhupada disciple. He's been in ISKCON since the 70s. And we're very pleased to have him here tonight to give us a wonderful lecture on the Shikshashtakam, Lord Chaitanya in his own words. So please give a warm welcome to His Grace Balabhadra. Very well.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Jaya Jaya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Prabhu Premanandi. Is everybody settled? Children settled? Everyone okay? Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanandane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschati Desitarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So most blessed day, the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Gaura Purnima. Tonight we'll discuss just a few aspects of Lord Chaitanya's appearance from his own words, from the Sri Shikshastaka, or sometimes Shikshastakam. I think they're here. So we're going to sing all these together, then I will speak on just a few. Together. Cheto dharpanam marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Shreyat Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnam Ritasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nijasava Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kava Eta Kusita Vakripa Bhagavan Namapi Durdaiva Mitri Samihan Janinanuragva Trinadapi Sinichena Turorapi Sirisnuna Mahamanina Manidena Kirtaniyasta Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Havidamba Jagarisha Kandaye Mama Janmani Jamanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahaita Kitvayi Ainanda Tanu Jakinkaram Patitam Mam Dusane Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Para Pankaja Stitaduli Sadhisam Vichintaya Nayanam Gavarash Sudaraya Vadanam Kapyada Rudarya Gira Pulakar Uchitam Vapupada Tavanam Agane Bhavishyati You guide on the Mishnena Chakshusa Pradishaitam Jaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Vinare Asli Shava Paradatam Pinastumam Adarshanam Mama Hatam Karotuva Yata Tata Vidadata Lampata Matprana Naktastu Saeva Napara. So the translation for the very first one is it there? You can read with me. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is a life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we're always anxious. Srila Prabhupada, in discussing this particular verse, and if you take some opportunity to research Prabhupada's words in the database, which has the complete collection of Srila Prabhupada's letters, books, everything, lectures, you'll find that he doesn't extensively go into the Shikshastakam, which I found very interesting. Throughout the books, he will mention, especially this verse, and other verses from the 8 verses, but not in great detail. There's not that many lectures where he spoke about it, but I found one amazing lecture or presentation that Prabhupada gave on this first verse. But before that, he always describes that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this morning Vishnu Prabhu read from the Adi Leela about the position of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But even though he was considered a great scholar, he only gave 8 verses, which are these 8 verses in the Shikshastika, which gives so much importance to these 8 verses, how important they are. And then Srila Prabhupada actually says in the lecture that he gave, one very interesting part of a sentence. So in 8 stanzas, Prabhupada says, he has finished his instruction. In these 8 verses, Lord Chaitanya has given his instructions. Of course, we know in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking, but he didn't write the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita was recorded by someone else, but Krishna didn't write it. You understand, right? But Lord Chaitanya composed these 8 slokas. This is very important. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has given us these 8 slokas. How important they must be. These 8 slokas carry us through a whole process of spiritual advancement and spiritual practice. As Prabhupada says, again, so in 8 stanzas, he has finished his instruction. In the first 3, he focuses on the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But gradually, around the 4th sloka, he begins to change his mood, Lord Chaitanya. In the 4th sloka, he actually says, O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. That's difficult for us, if we're honest. That's a difficult platform to function on. Would you agree, yes or no? To say, I don't want any of this, I don't want any of that. All I want is your causeless devotional service. It would be wonderful if that's all we wanted. I mean, the explosion of Krishna consciousness in this community and any other devotee community would be unbelievable if all of us felt, Krishna, that's all I want. I don't want anything else, just your devotional service. But we know that's not us right now. We're trying. So he gives us these first 3 verses to help us get to that point. After that, in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, Lord Chaitanya goes into more of his internal reason for coming. You know the 2 reasons why he came. The external reason and the internal reason. On the external reasoning, here we are. We have access to that. Sankirtan, chanting the holy name. Of course, the 3rd sloka is also difficult for us. Let me look at it. The 3rd sloka says, who knows the 3rd sloka? Trinadapi Sanichena. Keep going. Let's examine it for a second. Now this is an instruction from God how to chant. I mean, we may have been trained in so many different ways by so many different devotees in our beginning process. I know Vishnu started in 1971 in New York. I started in 1973 in Atlanta. And we had so many devotees training us how to chant, how not to chant. Like Prabhupada used to jokingly say, not this, like bumblebee chanting. But there's a way in which to chant. The Lord Chaitanya, God himself, is telling us how to chant. And what does he say? One should chant. Directly telling us, one should chant the holy names of the Lord. How? In a humble state of mind. And he goes on to explain what is that humble state of mind. The reason I'm saying this is not so easy because we have a difficulty with humility. First and foremost, we don't even know what it is. And in the modern society, you build up your ego because you have to go to work, you have to go to college, you have to raise a family and be a father or a mother, and your ego jumps out. I'm your father, stop it. And if you don't catch yourself, you think, I am the controller, stop it. Who's the controller? Why is it that we think we're the controller? On even small issues, we think we are the controller. That's why we're in anxiety. Our anxiety stems from our effort to try to be Krishna. So Krishna's telling us, one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. Then he goes on to explain what that is. Thinking oneself lower than what? You have to know this. Otherwise, what kind of chanting are you doing if you don't know this one? You have to know this one. Thinking oneself lower than, don't be shy. You can be shy about your own personal business, but this is Krishna's business. Thinking yourself lower than the what? See, the reason we don't want to say it because we don't, it's difficult. Think myself lower than the straw in the street? Come on, Balabhadra, that's too much. I've worked for 30, 40, 50 years building up this ego, and you're telling me put it aside? I'm not telling you, Krishna's telling you, Lord Chaitanya's telling you, don't depend on it. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha ahamkara vibhud atma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, thinking himself to be the doer of activities that are carried out by nature, bewildered by this material energy, thinking ourselves to be the doer. So Lord Chaitanya is saying, okay, practice. How do you practice? Think yourself lower than the straw in the street. I was describing to Haryesh Prabhu this morning. Srila Prabhupada elaborated on this a little bit. Excuse my voice, I'm so sorry. Every time I come to Philadelphia, it goes out. So, Prabhupada elaborated. He said, not like the straw in the street in America. Because the straw in the street in America, you know, the nice sidewalks, nice roads. He said, like India. A lot of you are from India. Many of us have been there. We know what we're talking about. Straw in the street means mixed with the dung of the cow, a goat, a dog. Goes on and on and on. That's a very, very, I hate to use the word low position, but it's a very humble position to think oneself like that. But how are we going to chant Hare Krishna, putting Krishna above us, if we don't see ourselves somewhat in a humble mood? In the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada also describes the definition of humility. He says, humility means not being anxious for the satisfaction of being honored by others. Can you repeat that? Not being anxious for the satisfaction of being honored by others. I raise my hand first. Always trying to get some respect. In some way or other. Oh, Balabhadra, that was nice class you gave. Oh, Balabhadra played Madanga so nice. Actually, the one time that I don't regret that, because in 1976, when Srila Prabhupada was in Modinagar, we had a chance to travel from Delhi to Vrindavan. And the reason I got to travel from Delhi to Vrindavan with Prabhupada and 50 devotees is because the devotee said, I want Balabhadra, he plays good Madanga. So I'm not ashamed of that one. But we should not be too proud of our accumulated experiences, intelligence, abilities, because Lord Chaitanya, again, he said, Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundari. I don't want any wealth. I don't want any followers. No beautiful this or that. I don't want. So when we're chanting, what are we chanting? How are we chanting? Lord Chaitanya is saying, one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. Now he goes on. Remember, I explained in the beginning, Prabhupada said, he finished his teachings in these 8 stanzas. So these are his teachings. One should be more tolerant than a tree. Let's take a few moments and meditate on that one. More tolerant than a tree. What do you think? I remember whenever I used to explain this, I would explain this in reference to my growing up as a young man and how we used to carve on the trees. Benny loves Sue. Don't say, oh my God, like you never did it. Yes. Boy loves girl. You know, we carved a little heart. And guess what the tree does? What does the tree do? Nothing. That's how tolerant. I'm not that tolerant. I mean, I try my best. But if you hit me in the wrong place at the wrong time of day or night, I might respond in a different way. Depends. If I'm thinking of Krishna and I chanted Hare Krishna in the right state of mind, I will catch myself. Wherever the mind wanders, drag it back. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, because it's the same Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, as Lord Chaitanya, but in a different mood. So we have to be very careful. If we chant ours, I hope most of you are chanting 16 rounds. I am not going to embarrass you and ask you to raise your hand, but you know who you are. Now, just on that point, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada wanted us to chant 64 rounds, but we were not able to do that. Then he offered 32 rounds, but we were not able to do that. Then he said 16, no less. Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, if you don't chant 64, you're not even human. Excuse me, that's intense. But Srila Prabhupada, for our sake, allowed us to chant 16. So as many as possible of all of us in this community, if we want this community to really, really grow, which I know we do, and it's already growing. Look at this room. We expanded our facility and it's already filling up. People are coming. But to really make the community grow, we need more devotees chanting 16 rounds or more. Hopefully I'm not putting anybody on the spot, but just think about it. The power that comes with that. And if we chant those rounds, as Lord Chaitanya just told us in his instruction, what did he say? Two things he just said. One should chant the holy name of the Lord. How? Thinking oneself lower than what? More tolerant than what? Now we're still talking about this tree business. Because that's a graphic example. Lord Chaitanya is using examples that we can identify with. Not like the later verses, okay? The later verses is hard to identify, especially numbers 7 and 8. 7, O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. We want that. I would hope that all of us would want to come to that stage. I told someone the other day, if you really loved Krishna, truly 100%, you couldn't tolerate being in this world. No way. This verse is saying what you would feel like. You would be crying all the time. Lord Chaitanya was mad, especially in the Gambhira when he was in Puri. Mad. No one hardly could console him. He would hear the glories of Krishna and Radha, and then he would become a little bit pacified. I believe some of the Goswamis or devotees would preach to him, not preach to him, but share with him, and he would calm down. Because he was just mad in separation from Krishna. He's allowing us into his own mood with verse number 7. Again, O Govinda, feeling your separation. I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. That's not me. I'm telling you honestly, that's not me. Sometimes you feel a little bit. But we're not there yet. Where are we? Back on verse number 3. Let's get back to 3. So far, tolerant like a tree. We're still on tree. We have to get past that. where we're chanting Hare Krishna and we're practicing being more tolerant than the tree. Any examples that we can think of? Like sometimes someone criticizes you, and you will set out on a grand adventure to point out that that person said this about me. Who does he or she think they are? Don't they know who I am? Yeah, we know who you are. You're supposed to be more tolerant than the tree, humble like a blade of grass. That's what you are. So what it means to me, when it happens to me, if I can just remember, Krishna is testing me. He's testing the limits of my ability, capacity to be humble. Because he wants me to become advanced. He wants me to come to the higher platform. It's like you want your children to grow up and become successful, yes? You should. Otherwise, Lord Rishabdev says, don't become a father unless you can liberate your family. So we want them. So Krishna wants us to become advanced in Krishna consciousness. That's why he comes. External reason. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming. Why? He's coming to arrange a program so simple that anyone can do it. And by doing that program, we make incremental, in most cases, but sometimes rapid advancement. There's some devotees in this movement, who have been in this movement, who advanced so much within 3 or 4 years. For instance, Jayananda Das Thakur. Anyone ever heard that name? Jayananda Das Thakur. You met him, right? Vamade, did you met him in California? Vishnuda, I know you met him. I never got a chance to meet him. But this sadhu was in the movement probably 8 years, 9 years, I don't know exactly. 8, 9 years. And when, upon his passing from this world, Prabhupada declared that this man is actually sadhu. Great devotee. So we say Jayananda Das Thakur Ki Jai. Jayananda Das Thakur Ki Jai. So he made rapid advancement because he sacrificed so much for Srila Prabhupada's glory and mission. Some of us, we're taking our time we're a little bit too comfortable in this material world. Just like there's one song that at least I sang this morning. It says Jeev Jago. And in that song, Jeev Jago is saying, how long will you sleep in the lap of the witch Maya? It's like Krishna when he was in the lap of the witch, what's the witch's name? Putana. And he's sitting in the lap of Putana. And he's thinking, very beautiful lady, because she looked very beautiful, very nice. But he recognized, this is a demon. Very quickly recognized, here's a demon. We're sitting in the lap of Maya, we're thinking, oh, so nice. I have a nice house. I have nice cars. Good income. People like me. This is nice. Guess what? Death is sneaking up on us at every second. And trying to remind us, when you get those pains in your body, and you get that, whatever feelings, anxieties, that's Krishna trying to help you realize this is not a good place. This place is not the best place for you. I want you to enjoy transcendental bliss. But in order to access transcendental bliss, I need you to do something. What? Chant the holy names in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street, being more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige. Let's talk about that one. That's a big one. Devoid of all sense of false prestige. What does that mean? Prestige is what? I am XYZ, whatever it might be for you. I'm the best garland maker. I'm the best whatever in my field of knowledge. I'm the best person. My ethnicity is the best. My race is the best. My gender is the best. My economic status is the best. All of that stuff is foolishness. All of it. I was talking to a gentleman last week in Atlanta, and we had the discussion pertaining to the incident that happened in New Zealand. And he happened to be Indian. And he was very It was very hard for him, even though he's chanting many rounds every day and so many things. Very hard for him to say, I feel bad for those people who die. Because of his ethnic background, he's thinking, I don't like those people because they're different from me. They're different from my religion, and they caused pain to my religion in the past. I don't like it. I said, but Prabhu. So I said, what does Paradukaduki means? Who knows what it means? Paradukaduki. So a devotee was walking by. Yes, what do you say, Manji? No, please, please. You feel some pain for others suffering. So this devotee was walking by as we were having our discussion. So I said, Prabhu, please explain Paradukaduki. He said, without even taking a breath, a devotee feels pain to see others suffering. Not qualified by my group suffering, my family suffering, my religious people suffering, all living beings suffering. Devotee doesn't like that, it gives him pain. So our position in Krishna consciousness is that we have to let go of so much. But if you want to access the nectar, you got to let go. Wow, let's go to the first sloka, because Lord Chaitanya describes such an incredible thing. He says, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan. Repeat after me. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan. I need everyone to participate. I know you've been fasting. I know you're hungry. I know you're tired. But please participate. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan. See, honestly speaking, your voice should just raise the roof. Glory! Oh, one of the children just did it. Like in a Christian church, say, glory, hallelujah. People go, hallelujah. Actually, that's why I stopped going to church when I was 12 years old, because I got so sick of the ladies with the big hats going, hallelujah, hallelujah, fanning. I said, oh my God, out of here. But when I came to Krishna consciousness and the voices were louder with the drums and the chanting, I said, man, I walked out of the fire to the frying pan, whatever. But this is ecstatic. 46 years later, I'm still enjoying this chanting Hare Krishna. So he's saying, glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life. What is that dust? Okay, I'll take a few moments just to talk about the dust, because Prabhupada describes that in his little lecture that he gave. The dust is like, if you have a mirror, and most of us can identify, the mirror is not always clean. We try to keep it clean with Windex or whatever, but it gets a little cloudy. And you try to see your beautiful face in the mirror, and it becomes more difficult. So then out of frustration, 2 weeks later, you clean it. Then you see a beautiful reflection. Don't look at that reflection too long, because then again you become distracted. But Lord Chaitanya is saying the Sankirtan movement cleanses that dust. What is that dust? The misidentification with this body. Let me ask the question. What is the first lesson of Bhagavad Gita? Who knows? First lesson of Bhagavad Gita, everyone should just say it. There it is, a simple phrase, and everyone repeat. I am not this body. Oh, yes, you are. Because every day you go and, you go back and look in that mirror to reinforce, that's me. But I guess I'm getting older. My hair is turning gray, whatever little bit I have left. Let me find some way to darken it out. Let me find some way to make it nicer, because I have to impress my friends and whatever. Not to get off subject, but that dust is the misidentification with this body. All the people that we're meeting when we go out, let me just say, today has been an ecstatic day. I normally will never leave Atlanta for Gaura Purnima, believe me. Only to go to Mayapur. And one time our temple president sent us out selling books on Gaura Purnima, and we were very angry. He sent us traveling to some other city. And guess what we did? We just said, we're not going to sell it. We're just going to go to the hotel and have a Gaura Purnima festival, which we did. But I'm always in Atlanta. But today, I felt the ecstasy that I always feel in Gaura Purnima right here, starting with Mangalarti. And I do invite you all next year, please please find some way to come to Mangal Arti on Gaura Purnima. Find some way. You can do it. Because the feeling that we had this morning was only about 15 devotees maybe. It was ecstatic. Don't miss this ecstasy. So then when we went downtown for Harinam, we went to, what's it called? Rittenhouse Square? You all know where that is, Rittenhouse Square? Beautiful park. And we went and we sat up and we started chanting. And guess what? People were not paying attention to us. They were just kind of like going here and there, right? Going. Then all of a sudden, guess what? Some little kids started dancing. And then the parents had to stop because the kids stopped them. And the little girl was dancing like and clapping and turning, right? Turning around. And I was like, wow. And not just one child, several. It was amazing. But I also looked and I noticed that people were just almost like they had never seen us before. I know we've been down there a few times, but it was almost like they had never seen devotees before. Gradually, by the vibration of the holy name, I saw some transformations happening. And people were just being transformed in front of us. My point is, Cheto Darpana Marjan. Baba Mahada Bhakti Nirvapana. By hearing the holy name performed in the Sankirtan, your heart will change, and the people who hear the chanting, their hearts will change. In some cases, it happens very quickly. Sometimes it takes a lot of exposure. Therefore, I humbly request all of you, find some way to participate in the Harinam Sankirtan. Find some way. Once a month, once a week. I'm very fortunate. I get to do Harinam Sankirtan twice every week, Tuesday and Friday. It's like the joy of my life. I'm retired from certain aspects of management and so on. Tuesday, Friday, that's where I am. Don't call me because I'm downtown chanting. It's the joy of my life. And I just look forward to it. It's amazing. I am humbly requesting that all of you in this community find some way, whether it's once a month, once every 2 months, whenever. Find some way to go for the Harinam Sankirtan. Also, the temple sponsors a Harinam Sankirtan every Wednesday. Wednesday Kirtan. These things are important. How do you show that they're important? By participating. Lord Chaitanya, I maybe have to finish up like this. Lord Chaitanya came to this world to inaugurate, there's a verse to this effect, to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement, to relish the Sankirtan movement. Now we look at the internal reason. He wanted to relish the nectar that Radharani's feeling when she loves Krishna and all these deep, deep things. But in order to taste that nectar, he demonstrated participation in the Harinam Sankirtan. He started the Sankirtan movement when he came 500 years ago. How important is that? God himself, who only wrote 8 stanzas, the first 3 describe about the glories of the holy name, came to this world to taste the nectar of chanting the holy names. And we can't find once a month, every 2 months, once every 3 months, once every 6 months, to go and do what he came from the spiritual world to do? Does that make any sense, yes or no? The ones who are shaking their head are going to be on Harinam next month, all right? The rest of you have some steps to take. Krishna came here to do what you have the opportunity to do, whatever you want. And you have a place. I mean, that Rittenhouse Square, I'm coming back just to go there. That was a beautiful place. People were so nice at a certain point. Children, it was just, hearts were just melting. Lord Chaitanya came to taste the nectar. Are you all ready to taste the nectar? See, some of us are still sleeping in the lap of the witch while you're thinking, it's okay. Material life is not that bad. Why do I need to cleanse my heart? Because this material world, just like we were reading in our Bhagavad Gita study group the other day, about enjoyment in the different modes of nature. And in the mode of ignorance, enjoyment is not good in the beginning and is not good at the end. It's not good at all. In the mode of goodness, it's a little bitter in the beginning, but very sweet at the end. But in Krishna consciousness, be honest with you, it's always sweet. Prabhupada said it's like a sweet ball. Anyone ever had a sweet ball like a gulab jamun, rasgulla? So if you bite it on this side, is it sweet? Yes or no? And if you bite it on that side, is it sweet? Yes or no? You bite it on the bottom, it's sweet. You bite it on the top, it's sweet. Krishna consciousness is sweet, 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 sweet. But the problem is we have so many attachments, it's hard to appreciate it. So I just want to emphasize the importance of what Krishna himself emphasized by coming. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, 2 reasons. Start the Sankirtan movement, prime benediction. Prime benediction. You cannot make up a process better than chanting Hare Krishna. Try your best. You say, well, I don't know if I want to do this Harinam thing. I'm going to figure out a different way to change the hearts of the people. You're going to be so frustrated because it's not going to work. You might try any idea you have in your brain to get out of the Harinam Sankirtan because you think there's some better way. In fact, sometimes devotees think, let's come up with something more sophisticated. That's too simple. What do you mean simple? His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, how did he start this movement? Where? He always talked about it. It was Tompkins Square Park, right? And the people are so much appreciating what Prabhupada did, they put the plaque on the tree where Swami said. The movement, and Prabhupada said, I had no mridanga, I had no prasadam, I had no harmonium, nothing. He said, I had this little katal. And I was chanting, and some boys came to me, and we started this movement. If it's good enough for Srila Prabhupada, and it's good enough for who? Whose birthday is it today? Say it loud. Srila Mahaprabhu. It was good enough for him, good enough for Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He personally took out Harinam Sankirtan parties. There's big pictures of that. Parikrams in Vrindavan. But somehow, we're not getting it exactly right yet. I humbly request this community to really take this day to recommit, overcommit ourselves to the Sankirtan movement. Krishna, in order to taste it, came down from the spiritual world for this Sankirtan movement. We have this opportunity whenever we want. And don't tell me you're too old, because most of you are not that much older than me. If I can find some way to do it with my creaky bones and all that business, my voice goes in and out, whatever. Don't tell me you're too young, because a little girl today jumped out of a thing and started dancing. I know what you're going to say, but Prabhu, I have to go to work. I got it. But I guarantee you figure it out when you want to go on vacation separate from your appointed time. You figure out a way. Call in, well, I'm not coming today. I'm sick. So you can find a way. If you understand the importance, that's all I'm trying to say. It is important. So let's increase it. From this day, Gaura Purnima, right? From this day, understanding Lord Chaitanya's external reason. Don't try to go too deep in this internal reason. You'll get confused. The external. Focus on the first 3 verses of the Shikshastakam. Learn them, practice them, internalize them. I promise you, from my own personal life experience, I'm sure Vishnu Gadal Prabhu and many others in this room who've been chanting for 40 plus years will tell you it gets better with time. It does. And you get less and less attachments over time. So please, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Gaura Purnima Mahotsav ki, Gaura Premanandi. Finish. Let's see. Check my time. I have 3 minutes. Anyone have a comment or a question before we stop? If not, we'll continue with the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Balabhadra Prabhu. It was a wonderful class on Shikshashtra. Please give him another round of applause for a great class tonight on well-being. Thank you all for coming tonight on this wonderful event. I'd like to just ask everyone to move up a little bit. We have some people coming. I want to make sure there's enough room for the Abhishek. A couple of quick announcements. We do have the Abhishek starting in a minute or two. If you would like to participate in the 8:15 RT, you can register at the front desk in the front here, and you can offer a thali tray. We also have open sponsorships for this evening. If there's anything you'd like to sponsor for this festival, you can also see us out front or in the temple office. We will be having the Abhishek in a few minutes, and after that we'll have a drama. Lord Chaitanya delivers the Chandkazi. At 8:15 we will have another RT where you will have the opportunity to offer an RT. And at 8:30 we'll have dinner prasadam. So I hope you're all having a wonderful Gaura Purnima, and thank you all for coming. We're going to get started with some kirtan and the Abhishek now. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so next, thank you Radhika for a beautiful kirtan. We had a lovely Abhishek. Great roll. We're going to have a drama now, so I'm going to ask everyone to kind of shift this way because the stage is going to be here. So if you can kind of just move this direction a little bit, that would be great, just to make a little bit of space. Thank you. So tonight's drama is led by His Grace Vishigadadas, and the title is Lord Chaitanya Delivers the Chankazi. So I believe they are about ready. So did someone lose a set of keys? We found a set of keys. Does this look like someone's set of keys, maybe? Okay. This looks like temple keys, doesn't it? Yeah, this is one of the jars. Okay. I think so too. Okay, great. So, are we ready to start the drama? We're ready? What's that? So, okay, we have enough space now?
Now?
Okay, so I think we have enough space.
Space is okay, but then the stand on microphone.
Okay, so you need a standing. I'll give you this one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's give us your full attention to the drama led by His Grace Vishigadadas. Thank you so much.
Started the video. Someone has to.
He is doing that.
Yes.
This one off. Oh no, we cannot. We just need this one. It's not going to print. With the speaker.
So while we're waiting for this minor technical difficulty, just a reminder that if you did want to participate in the 815 RT, you can still make a purchase or make a donation out front for the Tali. Also, there's still some sponsorship opportunities available for tonight, so you're welcome to do that out front as well.
I don't know. We just need somebody that knows how to use this back there. Well, we're playing a video, but there's some issues with whoever is on understanding.
Try again. Try again.
In the town of Nadia, just after sunset on the evening of the 18th of in the town of Nadia, just after sunset on the evening of the 18th of February, 1486. The moon was eclipsed at the time of his birth, and the people of Nadia were bathing in the games with loud cheers of Hari Hari.
His father, Jagannath Krishna, a poor Brahmin of Vedic origin, and his mother, Shashadevi, a Malakan woman, both descended from Brahmin stock in Shadeh. His maternal grandfather, Nilambara Chakravarti, was a renowned astrologer and foretold that the child would be a very great personality.
Who thus gave him the name Vishvambara, meaning maintainer of the entire universe. The ladies of Nadia called him Gaura due to his golden complexion, and his mother called him Ramai on account of the midwifery under which he was born.
As an infant, when but untimely, and the stock only when the neighborhood ladies might have been full. Thus, there was a constant vibration of gray gold in their house, foreshadowing his future mission. In his 8th year, he started his schooling, and in 2 years, he mastered all Sanskrit grammar and Veda.
At about 15, Mahaprabhu was married to Lakshmi Devi, but she soon passed away due to effects of snake bite. At his mother's request, he married again to Vishnu Devi. By this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was considered among the best scholars of India, which was the seat of Sanskrit learning in India.
One royal Brahmin, Keshava Kashmi, who was renowned for conquering many scholars from all over India, went to Nadia to defeat the Pandits. Many of the Pandits fled in fear.
Mahaprabhu then met him at the base of the ancients at Mayapur, and after a short discussion, Keshava admitted defeat by the void.
Purnima Pandit was now recognized as the most important scholar at this time.
At 16, Mahaprabhu's father left this world. He traveled to Gaya to perform the pilgrimage, and there he met his spiritual master, Ishvara Purnima.
Though Mahaprabhu was a famous scholar, Ishvara characterized him as a fool and ordered him to always keep the holy name of Lord Shri Krishna on his lips.
When Chaitanya returned from Gaya in devotional ecstasy, and ordered the residents of every week to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And perform Sankirtan regularly on the streets and bazaars of the city. When the Sankirtan movement thus started, no one in Nadia could hear any sound other than the chanting of Hari Hari, the beating of the mridanga, and the ringing of the kartals.
Followed by the resounding vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, the local Muslims and Hindus, greatly angry, went to submit a complaint to the city magistrate, the gospel.
Assalamu alaikum. Neighbors, what can I do for you? Well, my secretary tells me that you have some concerns about some disturbing activities taking place in my jurisdiction. Tell me. Feel free to speak openly.
Nila Pandit is ruining the Hindu religion. He's introduced himself Kirtan system. You've never heard about any scriptures before.
Malik, Nima Pandit was previously a good boy, but since he returned from Veda, he has become a crazy person. He now loudly sings, plays drums, and kartals. It's deafening to our ears.
We don't know what he eats that makes him so crazy. Singing, crying, laughing, dancing. And sometimes, he just rolling on the ground.
We cannot sleep at night, Shamkazi.
Mantras are supposed to be chanted softly and privately. Everyone is now loudly chanting this Hare Krishna.
I agree the situation is both unacceptable and dangerous. Nimrod Pandit has no right with his associates to agitate the townspeople in this way. You can rest assured that I will take care of the situation without delay.
You want a mic? Yeah. You want the lights on? Yes?
Hearing from the citizens, Shankazi was furious. He immediately set out to stop Sankirtan.
No, we want that one.
There we go.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Stop! For years, you Hindus have not been following your religious principles, but now you're following them with great enthusiasm. Let's go. Tell me, by whose strength you're doing so? All right. From today, I order that no one should perform congregational chanting anywhere in the city. Is that clear? Okay, this time, I'm forgiving the offense, but next time, if I hear anyone or see anyone doing congregational chanting, I will confiscate all their property and turn them into a Muslim.
The Qazi returning home, and the devotees, greatly shocked, being forbidden to chant Hare Krishna, submitted their plight to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thus inaugurating the non-violent, non-cooperation, civil disobedience movement.
The citizens resumed Sankirtan, but were wary and in anxiety due to the Qazi's order. Understanding their worry, Lord Chaitanya called them together and spoke.
Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purnasida Nitya Mukto Vinatvam Nama Namino. O Nitai, the holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It
bestows all spiritual benedictions, because it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete, and is the form of all transcendental mellows. Never is the holy name touched by the material energy. And Krishna's name are identical. Tonight, Nitai, we will perform Sankirtan in all parts of the city. Spread the word. Tell people throughout the town to prepare. We will burn torchlights that will light up the sky. We will have 3 kirtan parties. In the first, it will be Thakur Haridas. And in the second, Advaita, you will dance. And in time, you and I will lead the third. Gaura! Tell everyone not to fear. I will personally give protection. We will see if the Qazi dares to try to stop our kirtan.
In this way, Lord Chaitanya and his devotees, along with tens of thousands of devotees, performed tumultuous Sankirtana all over Navdvipa. As they approached Chamkazi's quarter, the Qazi heard this kirtan and the people protesting in anger. He became very much afraid and hid himself in his room, refusing to come out.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. My dear Qazi, I've come to your house as a guest, but upon my arrival, you ran away and hid yourself. What kind of etiquette is this?
You came to my house in a very angry mood, my Pandit. I first thought you'd calm down, and now that you're pacified, I've come to you to greet you. It's my pleasure to welcome a exalted guest like your good self. Besides, did you know that your maternal grandfather, Nilamba Chakravarti, was my uncle in our village relationship? That makes you my nephew.
May I address you as Mamaji? My purpose for coming to your house tonight is because I had a few questions that I needed answers from.
Whatever is on your mind, please ask.
You drink cow's milk, correct? Yeah. And the cow is to be considered your mother. And the bull, which tills the land, which provides maintenance to develop grain, so you can eat grains, that bird makes the bull your father. If the cow is your mother and the bull is your father, how could you possibly kill and eat them? You are a religious man, but I don't know what kind of religious principle this is. Please explain.
Nimai Pandit. Just as you Hindus have your scriptures, the Vedas and Puranas, we Muslims have our scripture, the Holy Quran. In the Quran, there are two paths for advancement. One for those seeking material enjoyment, and one for renunciation. Now, for those who are interested in material enjoyment, cow killing by regulation is allowed. Anyone who slaughters cows following these injunctions, there is no sin. Besides, in your Vedas, there are injunctions where sages killed cows during great sacrifices. What about that?
This principle is often misunderstood. The Vedas clearly condemn cow killing. Therefore, any Hindu, whoever they may be, they never engage in the killing of cows. However, there are stipulations in the Vedas and Puranas that allows for killing if you can revive the living entity, bringing it back to life. Therefore, in past times, there were great sages that performed cow sacrifices, but through Vedic mantra, brought the cow back to life, put in a brand new body. So this so-called killing and rejuvenation wasn't actually killing at all, because it provided great benefit to the old invalid cows. You see, Brahmins in the past, many of them could do this type of sacrifice. But because we're in this degraded age of Kali Yuga, these powers are no longer there. Therefore, cow sacrifice, horse sacrifice, is thoroughly condemned in this age of Kali Yuga. Because you and anyone else in this age who eats meat cannot bring a cow back to life. You are responsible for killing them. The destiny of a person who is a cow killer, they have to rot in hell for 1,000 years for each hair on the body of a cow.
I know what you say is actually true. Our scriptures have only been developed recently compared to the Vedas and Puranas. But they're incomplete, and they contain many passages that can be used to justify misbehavior. But I accept them as a Muslim because for the sake of my community.
Now, there's another question I would like to ask you. But I need you to be straightforward. Please do not try to evade this question. You know, A little while back, you entered the house of a devotee, and you broke the mridanga drum, therefore declaring that kirtan should be stopped within your jurisdiction. But just the other night, I could hear a tumultuous sound of people chanting, and then I saw people dancing, and I had to wonder, why, if this Sankirtan was stopped, why are they performing it now? Surely, as the Muslim magistrate, you have the authority to stop this, but yet you're allowing it to happen now. Please, I don't understand. Please tell me why.
Everyone calls you Gaura. May I please address you by that name? Oh, Gaura. Would it be possible we could go to a place that's a little more private? I could speak more openly there, and then I'll explain it to you in full.
You see these men who have accompanied me? These are my confidential associates. When you speak before me, you're safe to speak before them.
All right. When I went to the Hindu's home, broke the drum, and forbade congregational chanting, in my dream that very night, I encountered a greatly fearful creature, roaring loudly. Human body, face like a lion, jumped on my chest, laughing fiercely, gnashing his teeth. He placed his nails on my chest. He said, I shall immediately tear apart your chest as you crawl through the door. You forbid my influence of my congregational gifts. Therefore, I must destroy you. Being horrified, I closed my eyes and seemed trembling. The lion said, I have defeated you just to teach you a lesson, but I must be merciful. On that day, you did not create a very good disturbance. Therefore, I have excused you and not taken you alone. But if you perform some activities again, I shall not return. At that time, I shall kill you, your entire family, and all the Indians. When I woke up, the lion had gone. But I was completely terrified. I thought perhaps it was a dream. But then, I noticed to see the marks of the lion's claws on my chest. I didn't tell anybody about this incident. But the very next day, some of my orderlies came to see me.
Malik, when I went to saw the congregation chanting, suddenly flames struck my face. My hair was burnt, blisters on my cheeks. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
The Hindus chant Krishna Krishna. I warned them that if the king hears them chanting, he will certainly punish them. Krishna.
I know the Hindus by nature chant Hare Krishna. But you're a Muslim. Why are you chanting the names of the Hindu's god?
Sometimes I joke with the Hindus. Some that are called Ramadas, Krishnadas, Haridas. You know, I always thought they were chanting Hari Hari, which can also mean stealing, because they were robbing someone's home. But since then, my tongue has always been chanting this Hare Krishna hymn. I have no desire to say it, yet my tongue still says it. I have no idea what to do.
Malik, since the day I tried to stop the congregation chanting, My top chants Hare Krishna and cannot give it up. I don't know what mystic hymns and verbal portions these Hindus know.
Gave the same description. I could understand, though I was up against a person very much more powerful than myself, my orderlies, or my government. I told them, just go home, enough. No longer forbid the chanting of Hare Krishna. Just stay at home and wait for my order. I know that Narayan is the supreme God of the Hindus. And I have the sense that you are that same Narayan. I feel this deep within my heart.
My dear uncle, the name Krishna coming from your mouth has performed a great wonder. All the reactions to your sinful activities have now become nullified. You are supremely pure. Do you realize you've chanted the names of Hari, Krishna? Most fortunate.
It is only by your mercy that my evil intentions have been vanquished, O Gaura. Please, favor me, so that my devotion may always be fixed at your lotus feet.
Whoa. I beg one request of you. Please, you have to promise to grant.
Yes.
Make it so that in this land of Nadia, the Sankirtan movement will never be stopped by anyone.
Yes. I declare that for as many generations in my dynasty that may appear in the future, I promise, I declare that no one will ever stop the chanting of the Hare Krishna Sankirtan.
Hindrance. The Qazi, his descendants, and followers became known as the Pathan Vaishnavas. Descendants of Chand Qazi are still living at the vicinity of Mayapur.
Both Hindus and Muslims, even today, visit the tomb of Chand Qazi to pay respects. Anyone who hears the incident of the Lord bestowing his mercy upon Chand Qazi is freed from all offenses. As a devotee, yeah, Kanchi, and we would like to thank Krishna Prabhu for directing the night.
Wonderful job. Thank you, everyone. Get a round of applause again. Thank you. Just a couple of really quick announcements. We're going to do the final arti here tonight. We're going to do put a barrier across the front. So if you did make a donation to offer a tally tonight for the final arti, you can line up and come around here so that you can make the offering. We're going to start that in a few minutes. Just a couple of thank yous. So when we have festivals like this is really a team effort, and it would never come together without the hard work of a lot of devotees. So I just want to take a moment to recognize those Rasa Priya Mataji. Thanks to the Abhishek in serving various departments in the festival. We would like to, with due humility, request your cooperation in keeping this new temple neat and tidy. So Gaura Purnima often overlaps with the Holi festival. So I know it's a lot of fun to throw the colors at everyone, but this is our beautiful new, very white temple. So please, please, please do not throw any colors in this room. We would greatly appreciate it. Take it outside. It's a lovely night outside, so if you want to take the powder outside, go for it. And I wanted to also invite you to our Sunday feast here. Every Sunday at 4 o'clock, we have our Sunday feast. We have kirtan, we have a lecture, and we also have the prasadam that's served out. We also have our Wednesday kirtan here every Wednesday at 6:30, and we have Prabhupada night on 7 o'clock on Thursdays, where we read from one of Prabhupada's books. I think we're still reading Lilamrita. So thank you all for a wonderful night. We hope you enjoy the prasadam. And also want to thank to Nikunja Gopi for the feast, and the Ashi cake again was cooked made by Nitai Priya. So thank you all very, very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita is outside. If you would like to have someone make an offering for that as well. So thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
Something to light this.
Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare. 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 Jai
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Siddha Shishimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Siddha Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasati Go Bhakti Vrinda ki Sisi Radha Krishna Ko Gopinath Shyam Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Navadik Dham ki Mayapur Dham ki Jagannath Puri Nilachala Dham ki Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Shri Gaura Nitai ki Shri Radha Sarat Bihari ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki Jumunamai Gangamai ki Samveda Bhaktivinoda ki Hadinam Sankirtan ki Sankirtan Jagna ki Srila Prabhupada ki Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Sri Gaur Purnima Mahotsav ki Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru Shri Ranga.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Happy Gaura Purnima. Please join us next door in our Prasadam Hall and take Prasadam together and end this on a wonderful note. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Hare Krishna.
Who's got the key?